We're gonna do a quick follow-up video just answering some of the questions that were in the comments on yesterday's video. So the first comment and question I want to answer is the door handles, right? So when we walk up to the vehicle, the door handles present themselves, meaning they open. So as they open, me doing nothing to the key fob, the question was, if you go to any other door, does the door unlock and just pull? Because obviously if you're by yourself and you're just getting in the driver's door, you wouldn't necessarily want someone to be able to access the passenger side of the vehicle with those door handles exposed. Now there is a setting you can change where you can make it just the driver's door, which I have on now. So we're gonna lock it again. We're gonna walk up to the vehicle, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the key fob on the ground here, just to show you that that's where the key is. The doors present themselves, the door handles present themselves. If I was on the passenger side, I cannot get in. I also can't get into the back door, nothing like that. However, I would be able to open the driver's side because that's really where the key is. Now, the reason I say that is because, let's say you take the key with you. So we're gonna back up, we locked it, we're gonna walk up, we're not gonna touch anything. We're just gonna walk over, door handles are gonna present themselves. Now let's say, oh, you know what, let me get that package out of the passenger seat, but you have the key, you then could open the door. It will unlock the door when the key is near that particular door, but it won't unlock the door when the key is not there. So great question. And yes, your significant other will be safe getting in the driver's seat. You don't have to worry about people getting in on the passenger side when those door handles present themselves. Now, let's say you do want those door handles to open. You're gonna go to settings, you're gonna go to vehicle. We're gonna go all the way down to remote lock, unlock, and start. We're gonna go down to passive door unlock. Right now it's set to driver only. You see there you can select all doors, at which point all four of those doors would be able to be opened when those door handles present themselves. The next comment I kind of want to talk about is the size difference, right? So we all see on paper what the dimensions are, but we don't really see it unless they're side by side. And the comment was that the Equinox EV looks smaller than the gas version, and in reality the EV is about 7.5 inches longer. It's about 4 inches wider than the gas version and about a little less than an inch lower. So the height of the Equinox gas is a little bit bigger. You can see I tried to line them up the best I could here, back to back. And if you look at the front here, you'll notice that the nose of the EV does stretch out beyond the gas one by quite a bit, depending on how I angle my camera anyway. But yeah, about 7.5 inches longer, 4 inches wider. It definitely looks wider in person. And then the other thing was, how does it compare to the size of the Chevy Trax, which I'm gonna park right next to it so we can take a look. Now, although the 2024 Trax is larger than the previous generation, it is still quite a bit smaller than the Equinox and the Equinox EV. But to get a real comparison, like I said, let's park it side by side so we can get the real visual. The other thing is vehicles tend to look bigger on video than they do maybe in real life, which is sort of the same as with people, because I was just recently told by somebody here at the showroom that I actually look a lot bigger on TV than I am in real life, as far as, I guess, maybe heavy? I don't know. I actually do a tremendous amount of running and fitness related stuff. I'm in very good shape. Let's take a look here. Backs are pretty much lined up. You can see again from the profile that the Trax is much smaller than the Equinox EV and the gas Equinox as well. I don't have the exact dimensions here, but you can always look that up via Google. But just again, by eyesight, you can tell that the Equinox EV is the largest of the three. The last comparison we're going to do here is the Bolt EUV to the Equinox EV, because somebody mentioned that in the comments. Now, obviously, the Bolt EUV is much smaller, it's narrower, it's not as long. The height, funny enough, looks very similar, but it's definitely a different shape. The question was, would you upgrade from an EUV to an Equinox EV? And I think really the only, or the main reason you would want to do that, if nothing other than like the styling or something like that, would be the space. So if we look in the back here, we'll see obviously how much bigger the Equinox EV is compared to the Bolt EV. So if I open that tailgate and I open this tailgate, as far as cargo space here in the Bolt EUV behind the seat, you can see I got a bucket of cleaning supplies here and I got a backpack, right? So that'll give you sort of like an idea of how something would fit back here. Let's take this same backpack and put it back here. take this same bucket of car wash supplies and put it back here, and you can see, I mean, there's a tremendous amount more space. So if you were looking to upgrade from a Bolt EUV to an Equinox EV, I think the main reason you would do that would be for size, space. Now, for me personally, I don't have any children. So most of the times, like recently, we just went to the beach. I was able to drop this, I dropped this, and then in here you had your bags, your chairs, your coolers, whatever you were bringing, because I wasn't using the back seat. If you're using the back seat all the time, obviously more cargo space would make more sense. I had this Suburban sold to a previous customer of mine. This is, I think, if I remember correctly, the 5th vehicle this customer has purchased from me. They're actually going to trade in a 2014 Suburban. So this is going to be their nice replacement. It's a 2021 High Country, so it's pretty much fully loaded, other than it does not have a sunroof. It does not have the rear media players, which they don't need, they don't care about. It doesn't have power side steps, but they really don't need, they don't care. You know, it's basically, other than that, a standard High Country trim. It has 45,205 miles on it, and it's nice. We just have to detail it, and I had to order 4 parts because when the truck got here, this wasn't one of our vehicles, it was from one of our other locations, but it was on a website. So if we have a customer interested, we can then bring that vehicle over to our store, try to sell it like we did here. And when it came over, I think it was the other side, I noticed on the front wheel, yes, that this plastic insert here is cracked, and this one is all chopped up. So I kind of felt bad, you know. Now generally we'll sell them cosmetically as is. However, who wants to buy a vehicle with those being cracked? So we ordered 2 of them to replace them, which actually they should be in the parts department today. I think they were going to come here today. Well, what's funny is I walked around all the other wheels like this to make sure none of the other ones were damaged. And then I went over to this wheel like this, and I looked and I said, okay, nothing there. Then I went to this wheel and I said, okay, nothing there. And I literally went past both of these wheels without noticing that this one is broken off completely. And if I go over to this wheel, this one was broken off completely. Sal actually noticed it when he was walking around the vehicle as well. So we ordered 4 of them. We're gonna put all 4 of those on, and then we'll get this to detail. We'll have them do a full and complete detail on the whole truck and get it ready for my customer to take delivery probably one day next week, because they just have to transfer some funds from a brokerage account into their checking account so they can you know, cut us the check for their money down. In the comments, somebody mentioned about this being kilowatt hours and how many hours are actually going into the vehicle, how many kilowatt hours, and that's exactly what this is showing. And I can't believe that I mistaken that I didn't see that. Actually, if I unplug this, it'll show us, once it stops, it'll show us exactly how many kilowatt hours this has pumped out. There we go, 9,337 kilowatt hours since we put this machine here. How many charges is that? If it was bolts at 65 kilowatt hour batteries, you could do a division and you can find out exactly how many times we would have charged the bolt and exactly how many miles that bolt could have driven. In any event, there goes another Blazer EV. That's one of the employees here. We're happy with the electrics. We're having a good time with the electrics. I know it's not for everybody. I know it's something that's different. I know it's something that's controversial. I just ask that people have an open mind and just listen to the topics, listen to the conversation. You know, listen to how maybe it could work for you. That's all.